Hello and welcome to Transatlantic. My name is Kindred.
And I'm Bad Juju.
And today is a little bit of a change of pace. We're just going to have a kind of informal discussion about the newly broken news that there is set to be another Matrix sequel, a fourth Matrix film. So this is just me and Juju kind of chatting and posing our opinions from what little news and information we have. So, as it stands, I believe it's just Lana Wachowski who's writing and directing, and they've got Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss confirmed to be starring in it, right?
Yes.
So, what do you think? What's your general thoughts about, when it's going to be coming out? It's going to be a good 17 or so years later than the last Matrix movie?
The big thing, right, is what are they going to do? Because if both the main original characters are coming back, and probably Lawrence Fishburne too,
maybe,
what are they going to do? Because, spoilers, Carrie-Anne Moss's character is dead at the end of the trilogy, and as far as we know, so is Keanu's character. So what? Both of them are going to appear in the Matrix. It's going to be it's in the computer within the computer within the. It's like a fractal. Problem. Or is it going to be one of those things where he's still in the architect's room and all that happens in his mind? It was a scenario, so then he chooses something differently, and then the real movie kicks off.
You see, it's got so much potential for that kind of crap where it's just, well, actually, this was just a simulation of a simulation, and actually, the real Matrix is underneath it.
It's St. Elsewhere simulation.
Yeah, it's all a digital dream. And it's just, and I'm just expecting it to be the most hacky, get out load of crap. My point is this, right? Because you and I are both in general agreement into, number one, disclaimer, right? We're not doing that whole we're bitching about something for the sake of it, sake of being contrarians, right? I think if a film narratively has space to have a sequel, if it makes sense without it looking like you're trying to squeeze more blood out of a stone, fair enough. I mean, I was all for Blade Runner 2049 when I heard about that, when I heard the first news about that, mainly because when I heard Denis Villeneuve was directing it, when I heard who was on board. And to be honest, I always saw, even when I was younger and I saw the first Blade Runner film, I thought, well, this is a really interesting world. And I always saw it as like Deckard's story, and the story of those replicants as just one story existing in that world. So I thought you could do a lot more inside that environment.
Right.
I mean, as it stood, 2049 was kind of more of of sorts direct sequel to the events and containing most of the characters in the first film, but I think it worked, and it was definitely its own thing, and it still had its own story to tell with Kay, and it expanded on it. So I as long as I thought with Blade Runner 2049, as soon as I found out who the crew was, who was it, and the fact that Hampton Fancher was writing it as well, the writer of the original, I thought, well, it looks like they're doing it properly, and it's something that makes sense, and they've really thought it through. But then you get the likes of, I mean, Neil Blomkamp's just come out and said that he's not doing RoboCop Returns, and I was on the fence about that, because on the one hand, I'm a big fan of Neil Blomkamp's stuff. I really think in a near future dystopia, I think he always nails that aesthetic. I think that would fit really well with like a sort of old man Murphy kind of story, if it was done right. And I was actually potentially behind his Aliens sequel that got cancelled. I tell you what, I would have much rather seen Neil Blomkamp's Alien 5 than Ridley Scott's pointless Prometheus Alien Covenant prequel. And this is how aliens were created. I hate those films.
See, I think the same way with Blade Runner and even Tron. I think that it really would have benefited The Matrix had they come out with a sequel years later. Because, again, the technology is there now. And also, I don't mind seeing aged characters in a sequel if the story is really good. I don't mind that at all.
If it makes sense within the story, as long as something isn't shoehorned in for the sake of it. And again, this is just me supposing here. I don't know anything in terms of fact, but it's Warner Brothers, right? It's a Warner Brothers property. And although they've done all right, money-wise, here and there, kind of with their DC Universe films, I can't help but think, because critically, they've come under a lot of fire for most of them. I've got to say, I didn't particularly enjoy any of them, any of the recent ones.
Shazam.
With the exception of Shazam.
That was good.
Which I really liked, actually. I really, really liked Shazam. So if anyone's going, Marvel fanboy, no, I'm not. I look at films for the sake of films, right?
I think it struck a good chord. Like, it balanced a lot of different things.
It wasn't some Zack Snyder, Randian objectivist circle jerk, with like a really horrible Superman and everything's grim. And anyway, look, we can get sidetracked onto all that stuff. So that's discussion for another time. But the point is, I was with Warner Brothers. I feel like they're going, it's been pretty. We've spent a lot of money on the DC universe. It's been quite scattershot with its success, box office wise and critically speaking. So think, what does everyone like? And also bear in mind, this year is the 20th anniversary of the first Matrix film, so that kind of makes it timely. And they go, what was one of our great franchises? And it's like they've kind of gone back through and they've gone, ooh, the Matrix. Everyone loves the Matrix. It was,
Well, the thing is, like, I didn't realize, like, back in May, there were rumors that they were actually developing it, but I didn't even think anything of it. But then, like, Jeff Darrow came out on Twitter saying that he's been working on that for the last 8 months, so that means that they were definitely working on this last year.
But that's still last year. I mean, you don't know when they really started working on that, and even if it was, like, say, a year ago or so.
Sure.
Well, the DC Universe films, well, let's not even count Man of Steel, because that kind of stood on its own for a little bit. When from Batman versus Superman, most of them have not been received very critically well, or even at best, kind of lukewarmly. I mean, a lot of people like Wonder Woman. I didn't really care for it, but it wasn't awful. And same with Aquaman. I thought it was
probably he's Jason Momoa's character is probably much more thought out than the others.
They blatantly used the Peter David 90s Aquaman as a template for that, which I was happy about because
But he's a good. But
he's
I guess
cool. That was cool.
Yeah.
Peter David's run in the 90s. People always slag off 90s comics, and I always say this. There was some good comics in the 90s. Peter David's Aquaman run in the 90s was cool.
But I kind of feel like, I kind of feel like Jason Momoa's Arthur's kind of charismatic, and he's really the only one fleshed out in the universe. I kind of feel like Henry Cavill's Superman is kind of.
Yeah, but it's down to how he's written, though, isn't it?
No, I know that. I know that's not his
dislike
fault.
Henry Cavill.
No, I know.
think actually, under a different director with a different script, I think he's got a good look for Superman. He could have done very well.
No, he does. He looks like Garcia Lopez's Superman.
Anyway, we're talking about DC stuff.
I know,
should we talk about
but
the
it's
Matrix?
important.
If for context. So I just wonder as well, because would this exist additionally if it wasn't for the fact that Keanu Reeves has had somewhat of a career renaissance since, since 2014's John Wick. And to be honest, even after John Wick, he was in a couple of films that weren't that well received. Like I can think of 47 Ronin and Man of Tai Chi. But then
I was going to say Something's Gotta Give. My favorite.
Well, Something's Gotta Give. What's that got to do with since 2014?
No, I'm just saying.
You were trying to shoehorn Something's Gotta Give in any remote conversation that we have. But no, but especially with John Wick 2 and then the third one, which I still haven't seen the third one, unfortunately, but I've heard it's really good. So, and again, Bill and Ted films to come out. So the point is, and of course, Cyberpunk 2077, that when he appears in the trailer and everyone lost their minds.
Yeah.
So the point is, everyone loves Keanu again. He's in the public eye. He's popular. So he's a bankable actor. So I think that's probably a factor coming into doing another Matrix film. But I just look.
You're very cynical.
I am, but then because I've been burnt so many times, that's
Look,
why I don't go out and try to hate stuff. Right?
Listen, folks, if they could figure out a way how to retcon those albino twins with dreadlocks, I'll be good. I'll be good.
We'll get those back in.
No, my God.
But no, but I just think, well, look, right? You get the first one. I loved the first movie.
Yeah, it's
so
great.
do you, right?
Plot holes and everything.
Yeah, but but it was when it came out at the time, it was a real breath of fresh air. I think it was very different to anything that was out around that time. Also, like special effects wise, a lot of groundbreaking stuff. They had all the SLR cameras in sequence for the 360 shot,
Yep.
which all the different. It was amazing.
Bullet time.
Yeah. So no, look, right. I'm putting out there. I love the sequel. I own it. I'm very fond of it. You like it too. I remember seeing, because I think I was at university when the two sequels came out. I remember thinking like the way I felt about Reloaded at the time was like didn't like it as much as the first one. Felt a bit disappointed and thought, what the Christ at the end of it. But I thought it was one of those ones where, since by then you knew there was going to be a trilogy then, so I thought, well, if they're going to do a third one, the third one's really good, if they wrap it up really good, I think I could have thought Matrix Reloaded was all right in the context of the trilogy.
Ergo.
It did, ergo concordantly vis-a-vis Will Ferrell version. Sorry. But no, I mean, so I was really like, about the second one. There was bits I liked, but there's bits I didn't like. But I was, Revolutions came out, and I was like, oh, Jesus. That was just... I remember walking out of the cinema, because they came out within a few months of each other, didn't they? Because they were shot back to back.
Felt like you got effed in the A.
Yeah. Oh, no, I just thought...
It was a waste of money.
I was like, really? That's how you're going to end it? And it really smacked of the first one was a hit. Warner Brothers threw a load of money at the Wachowskis going, make more. And they're like, we didn't really have anything. Here's a load of money. Go make some more films. And they just went, okay. And to be fair, the Wachowskis, directorially speaking, The Matrix was their really big break.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that really put them on the map. So they were probably thinking, hey, look, we'd be idiots not to, take advantage of this. But then they felt like what they were to me. They felt like some forced sequels and they hadn't really thought out the mythology properly. They hadn't really thought out everything fully, and it just felt like someone had done a couple of semesters of philosophy and watched a handful of like animes and a couple of cyberpunk films and just thrown it in a blender, and there you go.
Yeah.
And now I just don't see it's possible, and I'm gonna go and watch it, and I want to like it. But then you see, my point is this: even if I really like it, right, and that's the fourth one's canon, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna go, oh, I'm gonna watch all the Matrix again? I'm gonna watch the first one that I really like, and two, which I don't really like very much, and 3, which I hate, and then 4. It's kind of all over the place. See, I had a theory, didn't I, that because such as the way of Hollywood going now, that everything has to be a franchise, I would not be surprised if they were going to try and do like a new trilogy. Like the Matrix 4 isn't really Matrix 4. It's like the closing of a chapter and then like, bringing in The One and doing like 3 more films.
I mean, I hate that even more. I think if they're just going to do it again, just introduce new characters and, they're just part of the new storyline, but keep, just have an older Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss and Lawrence Fishburne. A chunkier Lawrence Fishburne.
Hey, you leave Larry Fish alone.
Listen, no, he's great. He's the best. No.
He's awesome. But, I just think because it's all... Because of the nature of the lore in the Matrix and the way it works.
There is no law. There is no. They didn't know.
LORE.
No,
Law.
lore. I thought. No, I thought. Well, no, I thought you meant like they're the laws and the rules of the lore.
No.
Because they don't even seem to follow their own
But
rules.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I think it has so much potential for the fourth one to just go, because it was all a dream, like you were saying, or because something went wrong and they rebooted the Matrix, or there was a glitch in the system,
Yeah, so-
or blah blah blah, mumbo jumbo,
so that-
philosophical crap. Speak.
Yeah, basically, this is what really happened. He's somewhere. I don't know. It's a simulation. What
You
he's
simulated Jesus.
what he's experiencing was a trial run. So, like, what would he do if Trinity died? Does that mean she's still alive? No. Does
Are
that
they
mean
binary ghosts now, or something like that?
or are they going to do something like surrogates, where they're going to download their consciousness into a new body because they developed a new technology? See, we should be writing.
I just think it's yeah. Well, I've always said they should have just kept the first movie as you know what, it would have been better. I wouldn't have minded so much if they went the Blade Runner route. If in my fantasy alternate past, right?
Okay.
There was only one Matrix movie. Right?
Okay.
And they pulled Blade Runner on it. Like, so they didn't make any sequels at the time. They just made the first film, and then all these years later, this is the sequel. Because then you'd have a lot of room to do stuff. I'd be way more interested, and you could delve into things a lot better, and it'd be better thought out instead of
Mr. Anderson.
See, that's a point. No word whether Hugo Weaving's signed back on yet.
Well, they can make a new Priscilla. that everybody.
I'd watch that.
Yeah,
I'd
I would
definitely
too.
watch that.
Aging drag queens go cross country
Especially
again.
Terrence
Yeah,
Stamp.
yeah.
Now, how old's Terrence Stamp?
He's got to be like in his 70s.
And the rest. Sure, I'm going to Google that now. I'm going to find out how old Terrence Stamp is. So that picture of Uri Geller that we used for the thumbnail.
Oh my goodness.
But
No, but again, like I said earlier, I don't mind a sequel that comes out years later if it's relevant and if it also has like older characters in it.
so basically, Terrence Stamp, I believe he's like 80, 81.
Oh, he's 81. Oh my God, I was way off.
So, yeah, he's 81. He's 81. Born 22nd July,
Make it happen.
1938.
Somebody pitch that. No, seriously.
81 Bernadette.
And what would be even crazier if there was a crossover with John Leguizamo and Wesley Snipes. So it's like Tu Wong Fu, something.
Tu Wong Fu, thanks to the adventures Priscilla
Yeah.
in the desert.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's.
We're writing this. We're pitching this. Thank you
This
very
is
much.
how much we don't care about Matrix 4. We're already going off into just all the tangents.
No, I'll be honest with you. I am. If Lana has a good idea, I think that, and if she thinks she could pull it off, I think, again, if you get the original team back together, then I think that there's a chance it might be good. Then again,
there's always a chance. There's always a chance.
my cynical side goes, oh, but those last two sequels were just awful.
Well, here's my point. It's like a discussion on the Terminator movies right now, with Terminator Dark Fate, which we should have actually had a discussion on that one, but we're kind of a bit late to the game on that one, really. Yeah, it sort of happened a bit before we started our channel. But we now have, for example, more crap Terminator films than good Terminator films.
And they should have just waited, and then, like James Cameron came out with a script.
Oh, he doesn't care anymore. He just cares about submarines and his blue people.
Well, I would too if I had all that money.
Just give up on creativity altogether.
I want to go deep sea diving.
Just do 4K Fern Gully and go and look at fish.
Yeah.
That's what you do. Don't bother, Jim. Where's he? He's painting a submarine again.
Oh God.
But I don't know. It's because there's just Lana doing this, isn't there? Like Lily's not doing it.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what that's about, because it seemed like when they were talking about the rumors, like that both of them were, I guess, working on the project. but it even states on her Twitter account, Lily says that she's an ex-filmmaker, so I don't know if she's just, her heart is not in it anymore, or...
I don't know. Everything screams just, hey, jump on the bandwagon. You know, like, let's squeeze some cash out of this. You know, I'd understand if there was some kind of, like, which I haven't seen. If there is a statement here and I missed it, then you know, my bad.
Yeah.
But I understand if Lana had gone, oh, actually, I've had this script on the back burner for the last 15 years or something like that.
Like if Luc Besson said he was going to make the next Fifth Element.
Well, yeah.
I'd be down for that, but it probably won't be good because his stuff is... The Sixth Element. She gives birth to a baby, and then that baby is going to save the universe. Yeah. It's Rob Schneider.
In brackets.
Rob Schneider is the Sixth Element.
Tell you next time the South Park game Phone Destroyer, there's Sixth Element Randy, like one of the characters, and it's just him dressed up like strappy Lulu outfit with the hair. Yeah, God, we're going all over the place on this one.
It's all right.
But no, I just, yeah, of course, there's always a chance that it'll be all right. But put it this way, I wouldn't put money on it. Because I'd understand if this was something like, say, if Lana had this, I've had this kicking around for 15 years and no one wanted to use it, and it's like a passion project.
And again, the technology is there. We can do it. It seems like
she just got a phone call. Do you know what I mean? It's like, hey, look, how do you feel about doing another Matrix movie?
Yeah, because Keanu's really hot right now.
Yeah,
he's
really hot right
now. Breathtaking.
And, you know, we bankrolled Suicide Squad and Justice League and Batman versus Superman. And we need money. We would like money, which there are studios, and this is what I hate when I hear people bitching about stuff like this, right? I love movies. I've always loved movies. I know, and I'm not going to get all butthurt because something didn't go the way I liked it or whatever.
You just want a good story.
Well, again, like we both said, like, no, I'd love nothing more for it to be great.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to waste their time. Nobody wants to pay money and sit down for a couple hours, waste the time, waste the money on a bad movie. Who wants to do that? Nobody does. But at the same time, people forget, like, a movie studio is a movie, it's a business. They got to make money to keep going, right? That's the main thing. They need money. It's a business. So I just can't stand this fan entitlement go, but they don't care. They don't care about you, right? They care about getting money. That's what it is. So the reason why I'm cynical, and again, I wouldn't be cynical like the way I am if I hadn't seen so many crap reboots and so many thrown together cash-ins and capitalizations on current trends and all these clear examples of knowing everything about what makes money on paper statistically, but nothing about why it does and why certain films touch people and people engage with them. So that is the way of it. That is the way it's been. So that is why I'm not cynical. But I hope I'm wrong. I always hope I'm wrong. You know?
Well, yeah, I think I was pleasantly surprised with Blade Runner 2049. I was like, wow, this is probably... I mean, not only does it work as far as, like, because sometimes sequels way in the future, they tend not to. But I think it does. And I think the graphics are great. I think the story is really good.
Because it was thought out.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It was properly thought out.
I also don't necessarily mind Tron Legacy.
Well, again, a lot of time between that. It was like 28 years between that. Blade Runner was like...
My only criticisms of that is basically Michael Sheen.
Well, we kind of tore him a new one in the commentary as it was.
And obviously, but this is not their fault, but the CGI was not quite there yet as far
on
as...
Jeff Bridges' face?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think in everything else, but again,
the de-aging,
but then it still works.
Effects.
I think because they're in this abstract computer world for most of the time, so that's why CG does work, because it's supposed to be in a computer.
Yeah.
So that's why it works. But I agree with you on the Jeff Bridges face.
I mean, that isn't even a big deal. I feel like that they can just go back in and digitally edit that. It wouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah, but they're not going to, are they? But yeah, because they're still apparently toying with doing another Tron sequel, but I think that's kind of in development hell at the moment.
I would definitely want to see that if they had a decent story, but I am sort of satisfied with the way that that the sequel went.
Yeah, no, I just think if this, you got to look at the story, right? Is there space for it? Does it make sense? Because, like I say, Blade Runner, it was one person's story, well, a couple of people's story, in one setting. But then what Ridley Scott always did really well back in the day, not as much in recent years, but back in the day, he was amazing at world building. Same with Alien, right? Everything felt tangible and you really felt like you were somewhere else. And so in Blade Runner, you got the sense of this huge city and how everything was different. But, not everything. It was a sort of detective story without much detective work in it that happened to be in this huge futuristic cyberpunk city. So I looked at that as a kid and go, well, I wonder what other things are like in that world,
Yeah.
Whereas The Matrix, everything's explained to you. And they go through the whole thing about all this, and they conclusively end with Neo with not so subtle Christ imagery. It's as if he's almost, it's like transcending his form. He's bonding with the machine. So is it like, well, actually, is he in it? So he's actually now part of the machine. So the Matrix is now new.
It's basically an episode of Black Mirror. I mean, that's
a bit like Deus Ex, the ending of the original PC game, where JC can bond with Helios.
Wait, that's actually also the ending of Mass Effect if you choose the middle way. Wow, how original.
But then my guess would be maybe they're going to do it so like Neo is now part of the Matrix. So this has never happened before, right? The one has never bonded with the machines. So this puts a whole different spin on it, and like it changes the game sort of thing. So the rules are different, the environment's different, and this kind of route is completely unprecedented. So what happens years later in a wholly different Matrix that is partly human consciousness, perhaps.
Maybe they should have got Alex Garland to co-direct with Lana. That might have been.
No, because he actually does his research and how science works, so it wouldn't work. Alex Garland takes his job seriously. He's like, no, that's not what machines do. They don't run off human batteries. I hate to tell you this, but whole energy exchange is completely skewed there.
Bites his tongue. He's like, really wanna.
Maybe read less Immanuel Kant and more, some technical manuals, really. But yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else to say about it? Because I feel like we've sort of, I don't know what else to say, because there's not that much news out there. There's not that much to.
I mean, it is pretty shocking, but again, the way the films are going now, I'm not that surprised.
See, I'm not. That's the thing. I'm not.
I really do hope that it's a much better sequel, a much more thoughtful sequel than the last two. And if they could kind of reinvent it, or at least give it a better send-off, then I'm there for it. But I don't think it's going to be.
Yeah. I want it, well, in conclusion with me, I want it to be good, but I'm not betting any money on it. Basically, I'm not about to put my house on that. It's going to be great. So, yeah. All right, is that us done?
Yeah, that is.
Okay, then. Well, I hope you enjoyed us just talking rubbish, but in a different context, not in the background of the film. Let us know if you want to hear any more discussions like this. And please like, share, subscribe if you want to like, share, and subscribe, and check out the Redbubble shop, etc., etc. So in the meantime, till then, stay connected.
Stay connected. Bye.
Bye.
Support the cyber revolution and look great while doing it by checking out our Redbubble shop down in the description.